Seawall. He was the first to set foot on Avalon, not me. He decided that if anything were to attack us in this strange land, he would shield me and take the first blow himself. I remember loyalty, a fierce, unwavering loyalty, to me and to Avalon. He must have been someone I trusted deeply. Perhaps as we move forward, more memories of him will come back to me. For now, I only hope his loyalty wasn't in vain. It's more than a sword. It's a promise. A blade that stands for unity, for strength, and for hope. It wasn't just mine. It belonged to Avalon. Every swing, every battle was fought for the land and its people. But Excalibur is also a burden. It demands more than just skill. It demands purpose. Without that, then it is just steel. Ah, the horns of the South, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tainted Grail when Seawall and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a Knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keepers grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks.
You? Ah, shit. Another mouth to feed. Teargas must have been off his rocker if he thinks I can feed everyone with the little he gives me. I'm serious. If we don't open the keep soon, we'll have to start eating rats. Not that I can't cook them in a way that makes you think it's chicken. Oh, this is new. Maybe we'll get along after all. The dimwits here never want to learn. Only eat. It's a good thing you didn't start with calm down, or I'd have shoved my cleaver up your arse. Yeah, I'm pissed off. Because our gracious sovereigns recently decided to let in a bunch of refugees from the villages. They say they're running from the weirdness, but who knows, really? So now I have even more hungry mouths to feed. And since the captain ordered the letdown of our keep, the supplies are dwindling a lot faster than I'd like. Of course, I can make you 1,000 different dishes based on fish and grouts. But come on, even the keepers need some variety in their lives. Well, an adventurer, are you? Ah, I'm good for now. But if you find something interesting, you can drop it off here. And, as a sign of goodwill, I'll allow you free reign of my kitchen. If you need to cook something, go ahead.
Oh, you're trying to piss me off, aren't you? If you don't like my food, then get lost. Go to Ron's Tavern and stop wasting my time. In the fishing village. That's where the guards retire to sit on their asses and fart. Or sit, fart, and drink themselves into a stupor. Hell no. I'd rather stay useful here and drop dead at my stove than waste space over there. If someone's still fit to work but chooses to laze around all day instead, they should be kicked out, not rewarded with free beer.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. Either way, glad to make your acquaintance. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy. Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it. Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patient something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself. What irony? The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world. Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea, but please tell me, if you live to find out. I was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Camelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the South. Shipments from Camelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else, though. I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Camelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group. Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the higher-ups. There are side effects. You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose, or endure it. I can endure it because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky. Well, they already trust my word, and I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking. Healing diseases, sometimes cutting people open. Oh, and pulling out teeth seems to be a leading cause of concern for everyone around here. Me pulling teeth in the arse end of the world? My friends back in Camelot would laugh their brains out. Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do? Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans. Good point. That is a very good point. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods. Back at the Academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids. Forbidden knowledge, especially now, after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do, hmm? That is an excellent question. But I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to our world. That being will share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to remember what it says and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word. Isn't it obvious? I'm the only medic they have here at the Horns. I'd like to see Fergus's face if he hears about me going out there. And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the Druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times. They rounded them all up in a massive wicker man north of the Forlorn Swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead. In Camelot, maybe, but this far south? Nobody cares. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me.
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people suffer. And I mean it! He's a know-it-all from Camelot, but the truth is, he doesn't know shit. All of those academic types think they're better than us village folk, just 'cause they read a book. We've been getting by just fine without any of their crap. I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know what he did? He said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osprey to get it pulled out. Sounds like horse crap. My grandma was smarter than your lot, and she couldn't even read. She knew how to make a proper potion for toothache. If I were any good at mixing that stuff, I wouldn't need to deal with quacks like Heber. I even gave him my grandma's recipe, but he said it was no good. Don't know. Probably just didn't like that an old woman from a backwater village was a better healer than him. You will? Oh, you're a lifesaver. Tooth saver, yeah? No matter.
Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes the tooth, or it will keep hurting. Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for village superstitions. I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already. No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients. Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have Carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with Devil's Snare, since the color is more or less the same? Or Sage with Wolfsbane, because, you know, leaves are leaves. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this. What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come running to me.
You all right, newbie? Have you been to see the refugees? I can't believe poor Cole was put in a cage. Hey, what a mess. Cole came to us with a group of refugees from some nearby villages. They were looking for shelter from, well, everything that's been happening here. Bandits, the weirdness, the Del Reader, hunger. I was happy Fergus let them in and allowed them to stay. You'll meet them in the village. They live in the buildings up high. Not long ago, though, Cole started acting very strange, erratic, sometimes even aggressive. One of our keepers, old Mahon, tried to calm him down. He might have used too much force, and Cole felt compelled to defend himself. He bit old Mahon. And since then, the old fool has been lying in the infirmary. Frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Wait, if you ever meet Patrice, please give her those flowers. I know it's not much, but I'd like her to know she's not alone. I support her and the other refugees. And I'm sure there are more of us who do.
Ah, you're back! How's the remedy? Thank you! Ah, I'll finally be able to eat something. Here, take this as my thanks for your help. A necessary lot, if you ask me. We used to keep the roads clear and the word beasts at bay. But some of my brothers act like they're gods in boots. Power does that to a man. With steel, fire, and guts. Not much else we can do. But the weirdness, it has a way of creeping past swords and walls. Can't fight what you can't see, eh? It's been near 20 years now, give or take. I was just a scrawny lad when I first took the oath. Back then, it was more about duty than choice. My grandmother raised me, you see, but age caught up to her as it does to us all. She needed care and coin was scarce. Joining the Keepers? It was the only way I could make sure she got what she deserved. A warm bed, proper meals, and a little peace in her last years. Every damn day, she was my anchor, you know? Taught me right from wrong. How to keep my head when the world went mad. Even now, when I'm patrolling these walls or facing some weird-touched horror, I hear her voice, clear as a bell, telling me to stand tall. I only hope she was proud of the man I became. She learned from her ma, and her ma before her. It's a tradition passed down through the family. Knowledge of the old ways. Not that these so-called healers give a damn about tradition. Ouch! Good thing I saved some of that remedy.
Blessings upon you, stranger. May the word always resonate within your soul. What do you mean, my child? I'm afraid you are attributing too many characteristics to me based solely on the clothes I wear. The Horns of the South are my home. My mission is to spread the word. The word is good. I'm afraid that I simply cannot believe your blasphemous words without proof. Father Leon. I knew him in my youth. He was my mentor, a truly devoted servant of the Prophet. Back then, he was already showing signs of being overly devoted, let's call it. He followed the word and the word alone, which might seem commendable, but it doesn't necessarily make for easy, everyday communication between brothers. He answered questions with quotes. Can you imagine? We never knew whether his faith was truly that strong, or if he was just mocking us. So, this letter, well, it doesn't prove much. It's true that it's written in a normal way, and not using quotes, but the seal matches, and the handwriting too, so I dare not question its authenticity. I dare say, however, that Father Leon's devotion might have turned into madness. Why shouldn't it? It's a sickness, a corruption, but also a mystery. Many of my brothers would call it a curse, a stain upon Avalon that must be purged. And yet, I wonder, did Kai not teach us that all things have a purpose? That even suffering carries wisdom? The weirdness twists and warps, yes. It consumes and it takes. But it also gives. Life grows in its wake. Strange and terrible, but life all the same. If we are to fight it, we must first understand it. And that is what frightens the Church most of all. Understanding. As prepared as any men can be against something they barely understand. Swords and fire will hold back beasts. But what of the creeping rot that twists flesh and mind alike? But there is one thing. The Excalibur they keep here. It has not been wielded in an age, yet the weird does not creep near it. Well, even as it rests upon its pedestal, the air around it remains untouched. The tendrils of corruption that strangle stone and steel refuse to claim it. The Keepers may not see it for what it is, but I do. There is power in that blade. Something ancient, something beyond the Church's teachings. And if it truly holds back the weirdness, then perhaps it was never meant for men alone. Safe? No. But safer than most, I suppose. But tell me, what is safety, truly? A stronghold? A weapon? A prayer? I've seen men with all three fall just the same. So no, I do not feel safe. But I do feel watched. And sometimes that is enough. Certainly, Kai's blessings know no bounds, but sometimes it's useful to seal them in a handy flask. May Kai's word always guide you. In the word, you will find solace.
right. Eyes forward.
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole, but you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realised everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense. But he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. I was in a strange place. Dark. Full of fog. Eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, And then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. We set up camp near the arch spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world. What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. I don't care about his motivation. What you have in your hand is a very bad omen. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them. Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit. We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears. Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route. My parents ran a tavern that stood right by the road. We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters. Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. Oh, the same thing that will happen to every place on this godforsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But well, that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us. Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. I don't think there's anything worth going back for. Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me and Cole. Some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved. 2 or 3 weeks ago, things were starting to get difficult. The supplies we brought with us were running low. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with. But it also means more mouths to feed and more worries to deal with. It's not easy. Be careful out there.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave lightkeepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. I can feel everyone here gazing at me with awe. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's almost insufferable. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... it's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
wish Morris were here with me already. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose, do we?
What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a bleeding heart.
Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the rude keeper, and now poor Col's locked up in a cage. Him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were their age.
I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not used to all this. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there, working in the orchards in the mornings and drinking warm cider with my beloved in the evenings. We never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a choice, does it? That's what people say, but I never agreed. I weathered many storms with my Morris, coming out stronger each time. Avalon taught us to cherish the little joys of our everyday life. Without those lessons, we wouldn't have survived what happened to our village. Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorizing the area for months, growing in numbers with each raid. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive.
My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. Yes, I asked him to. He wanted to run with me, but he was still feverish after the branding. I was worried he'd die on the road. Now, I don't have many kind words for Kate, but she doesn't like her efforts to go to waste. As long as he stayed, she'd make sure he was healed. I hated leaving him there, and I hate to think of what she's making him do, but I hope he's at least still alive. Of course I did, right after I got here. The only answer I got was that they're aware of the bandit problem and are dealing with it. But I've heard rumours that the gate is always shut, and the keepers are forbidden to leave. So, I've got no hope there. Look at me, love. I'm just an old woman. I've lived a quiet life, never learned any skills Kate would find useful. She has no need for useless mouths to feed, and Morris, well, he didn't want me to stay anyway. He said we'd find our way back to each other, but I'm starting to fear we'll have to wait for another life. From what I've heard, they decided to stay in Little Grove for a while, drinking my cider to the last drop, no doubt. Not like they have to worry about the authorities. The only ones we saw were the Camelot tax collectors that came by once a year. Other than that, not a uniform in sight since I was a little girl. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know as soon as you learn anything. At first, it wasn't so bad, but now it gets worse every day. We just sit around here, doing nothing.
Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the codgers living here.
A dream? Oh, yes. There was one, but I don't quite remember what it was about. I'm sorry, dear. Stay safe, dear.